What is up, guys? It is MJ here, and today we're going to be doing our first starter squad of FIFA 19, and it is going to be something that we do for like the next few days until FIFA 19 actually releases. I believe the actual web app comes out on the Wednesday of next week, and then if you have EA access, you're going to have the game the next day, and then depending on if you have the ultimate version or the regular version, it comes out the following Tuesday or the following Friday. So like I said, we're going to be doing a starter squad for the Calcio, mainly because I'm pretty sure it's a very, very deep league, at least for players that you can use for your starter squad. In terms of really top quality players, it's maybe not the best because, of course there's Ronaldo and Dybala, but I mean, there's Higuain, which, he isn't really that great. He's not really a meta player. There's Miranda. Handanovic hasn't really been good the last couple FIFAs. So, in terms of really top tier great players, maybe it's not the best league, but in terms of a starter squad, I do think it could be very good. Now, to start off, we're going to have to choose a formation. Personally, I don't really know what formation is really overpowered, what formation is good or not. I have been using the 4-3-3 version 2 a lot during the demo, which is kind of the main formation of a lot of the teams such as Juventus, Manchester City, PSG, just to name a couple. And personally, I've liked that more than what Bayern have used, more than what Dortmund have used. And we are going to start off looking for some players who are striker in the Calcio. So let's check at the Calcio first. Let's see. So obviously, Ronaldo, Higuain, and Icardi, we're not going to be able to afford that straight away. Now, looking at some players, Simeone doesn't look horrible. The one player who looks really, really good is Martinez. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. His first name, at least, Lautaro, I think, Martinez. I mean, he has 86 strength, solid, at least, decent enough pace, 82 finishing. Dribbling's not the greatest by any means, but you could just put a sniper on him. Ups his dribbling, ups his shooting, and then he has solid strength, solid pace, solid finishing, solid dribbling. So that's kind of the main thing to go with. Now, if you can't get him because it does seem like he will be one of those players that would be kind of expensive, right? We could get Lasagna. That's an interesting name. We could get him. If you look at him, 3-star weave up, 4-star skills. The stamina is not the greatest, but he has solid pace, solid shooting. Honestly, his shooting is 74. He has 84 positioning and 78 finishing, which is solid. And then his dribbling, again, not great, but you could just put a sniper on him. Ups his dribbling and it ups his finishing as well. So we do kind of have a backup. So we do have a main striker and kind of a backup striker. We're going to go to left wings now. See if we can find anything here. Now, if I remember, it wasn't super deep, I think, in terms of left wings and left mids. I mean, in terms of, kind of starter squad stuff, because there's Douglas Costa, there's Insigne, there's Perisic, who are obviously all fantastic. But for a starter squad, again, that's not really going to be something that we can afford. Politano, we could go with. Not probably Chale. Morales wouldn't be horrible, but wouldn't be great. Lukaku. Too bad he's not a left back, unfortunately, for obvious reasons. Niang could be a decent backup. Gervinho could be a pretty solid backup as well. But again, there's not really a lot of solid left wings, left mids that we could go with. Bersha doesn't look horrible. Kluivert actually doesn't look. Actually, you know what? There's actually some decent players in here with Kluivert, with Matches. They're actually not horrible. So left wing is actually a little bit deep. I mean, some of them are 77, 75 overall, so it's not the insane players, but they're decent enough. I'm gonna take a look at Politano because he does only have 50 physical. 65 stamina. So you know what? He may actually not be the greatest one to go with, honestly. If we take a look at any of these other wingers, 72 stamina, that's not horrible. 4-star, we put 4-star skills as well. In fact, he actually might be the one to go with, honestly. Solid pace, decent enough dribbling. Kluivert might be a little bit more expensive just because of the name that goes with him. 69 stamina is not great either. So honestly, Matches might actually be the one to go with, at least in my opinion, from what I saw. Then moving on to right mids and right wings. Let's check that out real quick. Right mids, right wings. Cuadrado, Callejon, we won't be able to afford. Samuel Castelo actually doesn't look that bad. He actually looks solid. But again, 83 overall, probably won't be able to afford him. The player I really am interested in is Verdi because I've looked him up before. He has a 5-star weak foot and 4-star skills, 75 stamina, which isn't the greatest, but when you look at the fact that he has 55 stamina, you think that it would be around 55, 60 stamina. So the fact that it's only, that it's actually 75 is actually pretty decent. So 4-star skills, 5-star weak foot, solid just all-around card, honestly. He would actually be a solid right wing. Now, if we can't afford him, let's get actually these guys out of here for a second. Let's see if there are other right mids, right wings. Balde, Diao would actually be decent. He would be really solid. Rigoni, because Rigoni is actually pretty much very similar to our other right wing, because again, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, 80 stamina, so he's actually a little bit better in that regard. So if you can't get Verdi, maybe go Rigoni. Balde, who might be a little bit better. Under, there's Kisa, there's Joel Campbell. Like, there's actually a lot of solid options you can go with at the right mid, right wing spot. So, I mean, you know, we only have 2 here, but there are plenty of other options as well. So let's go to the midfield now, see if we can find any good center attacking mids, center defensive mids. Vecino doesn't actually look that bad. Solid all-around stats besides his shooting. In fact, actually, you know, if his shooting was just 70, he actually have a really solid card, so he would actually be decent. High work rates as well. Brozovic doesn't look half bad. His defending would need to be a little bit better to actually be defensive mid. Bakayoko wouldn't be horrible. Chan would be decent. I have a feeling Chan might be a little bit more expensive. Kessie would be fantastic, actually. Again, high work rates. He might be a little bit more expensive too, just because of how overpowered he looks. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I see here. I don't think that there really is. Actually, no, this guy, Rincon, I don't know how to pronounce that, but he actually looks solid. In fact, like, this is a defensive mid card. Medium high work rate, 72 pace, which is decent. 76 defending, 81 physical. That's actually solid as a defensive mid. So we kind of have our main midfield. We could go with Hedemage as well as kind of just a little backup, right? If Danza had high work rates, I feel like he would be good there, but medium might not be the best for a midfielder. Darun would actually be a decent enough defensive mid. He'd actually fit in pretty well. Starting for left back now, I did actually go through this, and I think the main player to go for would be Asamoah. Honestly, you have Dalbert, who is 81 or 91 pace, which would, you know, that'd be solid too. But I think Asamoah is the main play. You know, if you don't have Alexandro, I think you go with Asamoah because, you know, 77 pace isn't the fastest, but he has 78 defending, 77 physical, 82 dribbling, 78 passing, high work rates. You compare that to Crescito, same pace. Crescito has 1 better defending, 2 better physical, but Asamoah has much better dribbling and he has better work rates. Other defenders, some other center backs now. Mercano, maybe. He would actually be, I think, decent enough. 82 overall, might lead him to be a little bit more expensive though. Radu, medium high work rates, great defending, but his physicality is lacking. I want to see what his physicality actually entails. 74 strength, that's not really that good, obviously. It's just his defending that's amazing though. Right? All of his defending stats besides his heading is over 84. You know, if you have an extra 700, 1,000, 2,000 coins to spend, why not try him out, I would say. Bastos doesn't look that bad. Maximovic, 65 pace isn't the best. Juan Jesus, I think you got to throw him in. I think Juan Jesus has to be in there for like your starter team. Honestly, I think that's kind of a no-brainer there. So I think center backs might be lacking a little bit compared to other positions. And honestly, for other positions, we've kind of been spoiled. So yeah, center back spot might be lacking a little bit, but it's not the worst case scenario. For right back, you do have Florenzi and João Cancelo, who are definitely going to be the ones to go with, in my opinion. Same thing for Salco. You have Abate, you got Deschilio, you got Karsdorp, you got Malaquit. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I mean, there's also like these are actually really solid options at right back. So we'll go with this guy. But I mean, there are actually a lot of solid options at right back, to be fair. And then finally, for the goalkeeper position, if I remember last year, again, this is kind of the part where the Calcio struggle a little bit. They just have Handanovic, and that's kind of it for top tier players at goalie. But they have a lot of mid-tier goalies who are practically the same thing. Like these 5 goalies right here are all practically the exact same. Strakosha, Morante, Sorrentino, Carnizis, and Sportiello. Like, they're all pretty much the same if you look at their stats. 80 diving, 81 reflexes. 80 diving, 81 reflexes. 77 positioning, 76 handling, and 78 handling. Like, they're pretty much the exact same card. But I'm pretty sure he was like 6'4", 6'5". Yeah, so 6'4". That's definitely good one to go with. All right, so that is our Calcio starter team. And honestly, I actually really do like this team because the players, or at least most of them, have the right stats in the right spots, at least in my opinion. You know, the depth at center back isn't that great. The pace in the midfield isn't the best either. I do wish that the pace in the midfield was better, but besides those things, I do think this is a really solid starter squad because, again, you got Martinez, you have some decent backups there. The left wing, I think, is solid enough. You got Verdi at right wing, you got Rigoni at right wing if you can't get Verdi. Midfield, besides their pace, has very good other stats and very good work rates as well. You got decent enough depth at left back, very great depth at right back. And again, the depth at center back isn't great, but you have some decent enough players to try to get. And then at goalkeeper, you have like 5 players who are all exactly the same that you could try to get. So that is probably going to be it for the starter team, guys. If you do have any suggestions for players, just leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them for you guys. And as in terms of other leagues that we're going to be doing, we'll try to do some Bundesliga. We'll try to do maybe a Premier League one, definitely like a Turkish league or Portuguese, kind of like a lower, not necessarily lower league, but one that's not one of the big, 5 leagues. So we'll do that as well in upcoming videos. Like I said, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been DMG. Peace.